Okay, guys, turn this off or down. There we go. So we started trying to troubleshoot this. The first thing I found is I had that needle. This is the long needle that controls the fuel that goes up and down. I had the retaining clip, which is that round circular washer type thing, underneath of it, and then I put the needle through the whole thing. And from what I've seen, it's the other way around. Your needle goes in first, and then that retaining clip goes on top. So I fixed that on both of them, and then I decided to kick this thing over. It did start a lot better, but it's still 20-30 seconds, and then it dies. Occasionally I'll be able to hit the throttle without it dying, and I'll get a rev. I also took out my feeler gauge and remeasured my gap, turned the center around here so that the gap's open, and made sure that I think it's 0.4 millimeters. Feeler gauge goes as a tight fit between the gaps, and then rotated it again and checked the other side. So that was fine. So started kicking it over. And I'm actually sweating buckets here, but what I've discovered is this side is ice cold, and I've been kicking this over for 20 minutes. You know, sputter, sputter, sputter. This side, on the other hand, let's cool down a little bit, but this would burn you off. So that tells me that my left cylinder is not firing for whatever reason. I took the spark plug off of here. I had an extra spark plug, laid it against the frame, kicked the machine over, and I saw a spark. So I know I'm getting spark to my cylinder. So that makes me think something is wrong with that carb, the left side carb over there. So what I'm starting to do right now, I turned my gas off. I've got my battery charging up again too, because like I said, I've been playing with it for about an hour. And I'm getting ready to pull this carb out, and then I'll take it inside to my bench where it's warmer, and tear it down again and double check everything. My float height, you know, is there some passageway that got blocked? Is it gummed up again for some reason? I don't know. But I'm gonna double check that carb because I got spark. I know my piston looks good because I've taken that head off and put the head back on. So yeah, that leads me down this path, and that's where I'm going next. So stay tuned. Okay guys, I found something interesting. I blew this all out and started to tear it down and check all the passages. And the main jet there, you can see the blue dot from the blue paper behind it. I saw something in there. Tried to blow it out just with air, and nothing came out. So I took a long Allen wrench and some screws and went down there. And I don't know if I can adjust on it here, but let me see. There's kind of a brass filing that was like stuck down in that main jet. So I got out my other jets that were part of my kit, so you always hold on to your old parts specifically for this reason, and made sure there was nothing supposed to be in there, and of course there's not. So I think what happened when I screwed this top part in, see if I can focus here. If you remember, that goes right in there. A filing came out from the threads. This is brass, or a brass-like substance. And plugged up my main air mixture there. So even just having something in there, even though it wasn't 100% blocked, was causing issues. So I'm not going to use this nut. I'm going to use the original nut here. I've taken everything else apart and put this car back together, and I think that's what's been causing my issues here. So we'll get this all put back together and back on the bike, and we'll see if she fires over on both cylinders and starts to tune up now. Alright guys, so I got the car back in there and I've been kicking it over. I have the same problem. I get sputters, but it's all for the right cylinder. My manifold up here I can touch. It's just cold as ice, cold as the garage. But on the right side, it's very warm. Let's see. I can hear it. And it will only start on choke. And it doesn't run it long enough for me to get my hands back here to see, but I'm pretty sure my left side is not firing for some reason. I am glad I took the card apart because I found that filing. I know I've got spark. I know fuel's getting through. I know I've got air. I know my cylinder's free. Possible there's broken reeds back here. I know my gap's set. This is all working. If that wasn't working, I wouldn't get spark there, so pretty sure it's not that. This is where I'm at. I've got to think and do a little research here, see if I can find out what would cause this left cylinder not to fire. I didn't really want to get into the reed valves in there, but I may have to. I'm going to have to do some research now. Again, this is just part of the Joyce motorcycle. I just wished it wasn't, February, and I had to have the heater on and all that. But we'll continue to troubleshoot as time allows. I was really hoping to get this to at least fire over consistently for you guys. But I think what I'm going to do, just because all these videos are going to start getting shorter and shorter and shorter now, because all I'm doing is really tuning, is I'm going to call the project officially on YouTube as done. And in the spring, when it's not so darn cold, it's only a couple months away, I'll do an update video to show how I solved this problem and how I did the final tune-up on the bike. And I've gone around and I've torqued all those screws, so I know everything's roadworthy. I got my title, I've got my plate, I haven't put it on there yet. But I'm going to do what I can to troubleshoot this cylinder issue. And I will let you guys know, but officially we're going to say that the rd350 is complete. So, and then I'll do an update, like I said, and maybe a ride along if I get my son's GoPro. I think he's got it somewhere. To show you how she performs in the spring when the time has come. So now comes the time for me to look for another project. I've been looking on Craigslist and a couple other places around. I haven't found anything suitable. Like I said, it's cold out, so people aren't even cleaning the garages. So they don't want to get rid of their bikes in the middle of February. But every once in a while, you can find a good deal. Stay tuned. I'll definitely be doing another bike. I'm thinking about doing a bobber or a cafe racer. Some plug here. Shock myself. There we go. Thinking about doing a bobber or a cafe racer. Something that I'm not going to restore back to original. This was original condition. I used some reproduction parts. I think I've got 1 or 2 parts that were from a 74 or 75 RD instead of a 73 RD if you want to get really down into the weeds on it. But I'm going to look for something custom that I can make my own. Probably going to chop the frame, do all sorts of just really cool, fun stuff that I've not done before. This is probably, I think this is definitely the biggest restoration I've done on a motorcycle. And it was a learning experience because I've been out of bikes for we just had our 25th anniversary. But I grew up on bikes, had a bike when I met my wife, sold it to get married, and I've never let her forget it. And so here I am, 49-ish years old, and I'm getting back into it. It's kind of a fun hobby, lots of aggravations, but lots of fun too. So encourage you guys to pick up a project. I hope you enjoyed the videos and kind of learning along with me. Definitely didn't do everything right the first time, but that's part of the fun. You learn the ways to do it and you get things done, and eventually you come up with a nice bike that looks like this. Thanks again, YouTubers.